Shalom, family. There's something I want to bring to your attention as it relates to the all-seeing eye in the pyramid. In a new video for a song called Johnny P's Caddy with Benny the Butcher, rapper J. Cole goes out of his way to disrespect God, committing blasphemy when he states, "I'm probably gonna go to hell if Jesus asks for a feature."
I'm probably gonna go to hell if Jesus asks for a feature.
His pompous display of bravado and lack of reverence for Messiah is obvious. Now, this isn't the first time a rapper has dissed the Messiah. Back in the days, Nas did it as well.
When I was 12, I went to hell for snuffing Jesus.
We know Nas means serpent, and he portrayed himself as a false Messiah, as well as connected himself with the Corona and Obama, crowning him as the Serpent King through his album, King's Disease. But that's not all. In another line he says, "On God, the best rapper alive, headshot, now go and ask the best rappers that died."
On God, the best rapper alive, headshot, now go and ask the best rappers that died.
There are a few specific things here I want you to pay attention to. He says, go ask the best rappers that died. Well, speaking to the dead is witchcraft and communion with familiar spirits. Leviticus 20 verse 6 tells us this, "And the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits, and after wizards, to go a-whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul, and will cut him off from among his people." When J. Cole makes this statement, he is making the sign of the devil with his left hand as he moves his arm in the shape of a pyramid, triangle, or delta. This is done to let you know that the God he is making reference to is none other than the devil, who is symbolized by the all-seeing eye inside of the pyramid. The mention of a headshot is a reference to the deadly head wound that the Antichrist will receive and recover from. This can be found in Revelation 13:3, which declares, "And I saw one of his heads, as it were, wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast."
Headshot, headshot, headshot.
The scriptures also associate this deadly head wound with the loss of an eye in Zechariah 11:17, which declares, "Woe to the idle shepherd that leaveth the flock. The sword shall be upon his arm, and upon his right eye. His arm shall be clean dried up, and his right eye shall be utterly darkened." The idle shepherd is a reference to the Antichrist, who we know to be Barack Obama. Not surprisingly, J. Cole has connected himself with the Corona, or crowning of the devil, the sixth king, through his album Born Sinner. And he was also connected with Obama in the past as well, as he joined Obama as his special guest during a fundraiser at the Democratic National Committee at South by Southwest in 2016. Obama even went on record to say that he loves J. Cole.
Love J. Cole. Oh, I do. You know, this is the benefit of having teenage daughters is I actually keep up. And I got a chance to see J. Cole's mom and grandma.
J. Cole began his verse with imagery connecting himself with the lightning that fell from heaven.
On the night I was born, the rain was pouring, God was crying, lightning struck, power outage, sparks was flying.
We know this represents the phrase Barack Obama, as found in Luke 10:18, when Messiah described Satan falling like lightning from heaven. So it's clear when J. Cole said on God while making the devil hand sign and simultaneously moving his arm in the shape of a pyramid after disrespecting Yehoshua and mentioning a headshot, that he was talking about the son of perdition who will be indwelt by the king of the bottomless pit when his deadly head wound is healed. Speaking of the Delta and how it connects to Obama, there was another satanic ritual human sacrifice that occurred on Monday, April 18th, that points to the Delta as well. 15-year-old Alicia Reinaga died after she was stabbed multiple times by an intruder or trespasser at AA Stagg High School in Stockton, California.
A few minutes ago, take a look. Stockton police posted this mugshot of the suspect, identified as 52-year-old Anthony Gray. Detectives do not believe that he knew the victim. It appears to be a random act. Gray, we know, has been booked for murder. Family identifying the victim as 15-year-old Alicia Reinaga. Authorities say that Gray drove through the front gates of Stagg High School today in Stockton, got out, stabbed Reinaga multiple times. She was rushed to the hospital, but that's where she died. Parents and district officials wondering how and why this could have happened.
Family and friends are remembering Alicia as a daughter, cousin, and someone who loved sports, specifically playing softball.
Keep Lala safe in your arms.
It is important to note that the 13 days of satanic ritual human sacrifice began on April 19th and continue through Walpurgis Night or Hexanot, the witches' Sabbath, and culminates on May 1st or May Day. So we can expect several human sacrifices to occur throughout this time. I suppose they wanted to get an early start because this sacrifice took place on the 18th of April. The number 18 gives us 666, the number of the beast. April 18th is also 418, and 4 plus 1 plus 8 equals 13, the number of rebellion. The victim was 15 years old, and the 15th tarot card is the devil card. Now get this. The news report said her father called her a bright light.
Her father described her as a bright light in the family.
This connects her with Lucifer, the light bearer, and it also connects her to the previous comparisons of ritual sacrifice victims with bright lights as well.
The family saying in a statement that Ian was a bright light, was a bright light, was a bright light, was a bright light.
Amir was a bright light, was a bright light, was a bright light, and he deserves to be able to shine.
When we break down the meaning of her name, it becomes even more obvious that this indeed was an orchestrated ritual. The name Alicia means noble and exalted. The name Reinaga is Rey plus Naga. Rey means king in Spanish and points to the corona or crown. Naga in Sanskrit means serpent, and in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, the Naga are a member of a class of mythical, semi-divine beings that are half human and half cobra. These half-human, half-serpent beings reside in the netherworld, Patala, and can occasionally take human form. In reality, the Naga are nothing more than the demonic, unclean spirits of fallen angels walking the earth among humans, hidden and disguised as humans themselves. The Nagas are serpentine water deities, which connects them to the beast from the sea. Thus, the name Reinaga means King Cobra, the king of the serpents. Interestingly enough, the viral video, Watch the Water, which confirmed that getting coronavirus or injected with the vax meant you were actually being crowned with the venom of the serpent, mentioned that King Cobra venom is a part of COVID-19, as well as the mRNA vaccines being given to humans.
That these are actually bound most tightly to snake venom of krait and cobra is what they're finding, and that the spike protein from SARS-CoV-2 is most identical to Chinese krait and king cobra venom.
The name Watch the Water is directing the attention of the world to the serpent, the dragon or beast that rises from the sea, as found in Revelation 13:1. This is very interesting since the school Alicia Reinaga, whose name means the noble and exalted king of the serpents, was sacrificed at, is called Amos Alonzo Stagg High School. Why is this important? The name A.A. Stagg points to the stag god Cernunnos, who is the same as the horned god Satan. Cernunnos is connected to CERN, which boasts a statue of Shiva the Destroyer on campus, where they are actively trying to open portals or doorways to hell. Remember, the portal is signified by the Delta symbol. The stag god also connects back to the satanic ritual sacrifice which occurred in Milwaukee when the guy drove his red Escape into the crowd at the Christmas parade. Remember, I told you then that the red Escape and connection to CERN was meant to point to Satan escaping from hell or coming through a portal or doorway into this world. We also connected this to Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival.
It just felt like we was like literally like in f***ing hell, bro. Like it felt like we was in a concert in hell.
And his video, Escape Plan, where he wore a red shirt with a Delta, portal, or doorway on it. The stag god was also connected to the mass shooting at Oxford High School because a stag head was thrown onto school property days before the shooting. You will remember that this ritual sacrifice also pointed to Obama through the O that was prevalent in the story. When we look at the logo for A.A. Stagg High School, we see it is a delta or pyramid with a crown inside of it, and the moniker for the school is the Delta Kings. Again, we know that the delta or pyramid represents the portal or doorway and points to the all-seeing eye of Lucifer peering through the pyramid from the underworld or spiritual realm. Not only that, but the delta represents change and points to Barack Obama as the Delta King, the son of perdition.
Because of what we did on this day, in this election, at this defining moment, change has come to America.
This Delta King, according to Revelation 17:8, will be indwelt by the demonic unclean spirit of the fallen angel and king of the bottomless pit when he ascends or escapes out of the pit. But it doesn't end there. The interesting thing about the school A.A. Stagg is its namesake. Amos Alonzo Stagg is known as the Grand Old Stag, clearly a reference to the horned god, Satan. Stagg was a pioneer in American athletics, especially football. He invented the huddle, numbers on jerseys, and the Statue of Liberty play. The name Amos means to be carried by God. The name Alonzo means to be ready for battle. The name Stagg is a reference to the horned god, and in Old Norse, the word is used for a dragon. Keep this in mind because we'll combine the meanings of these names into a message later. Stag attended Yale, which connects him to the Skull and Bones, or Order of Death. He also was the head coach at the University of Chicago, and he coached until he was 84 years old. Chicago and the number 84 connects him with Obama, who is from Chicago and whose birthday is 8/4. Stag lived to be 102 years old, over a century, a reference to the unclean demonic spirits of fallen angels who walked the earth for centuries in human form. He was born August 16, 1862, and at the time, Abraham Lincoln was president. This connects him with the emancipation, releasing or setting free of the slaves. It also points back to the stag god, Cernunnos, and opening the portal or doorway to hell to set free or release the demonic spirits held in bondage there, including the king of the bottomless pit. Stag died March 17th, 1965, only 24 days after the assassination of Malcolm X on February 21st. Remember, the name Malcolm comes from Milcom, which means king, and is the same as Molech, the horned bull god to whom apostate Jews sacrificed their children to. We know this false horned god is the same as the Chicago Bull, and since he died 24 days after Malcolm's death, the number 24, or 2 4s, points to number 44, Obama, as the horned god Satan from the Windy City, a reference to the prince of the power of the air. Now, let me show you how this connects back to the child that was sacrificed. Alicia was called Lala, and she wore the number 7 on her jersey. The letter L is the 12th letter, and the letter A is the first. Thus, L plus A is 12 plus 1, which equals 13, the number of rebellion. If we extrapolate further, the name Lala is 1313, and since 1 plus 3 is 4, the name Lala is another way of writing the number 44, which points to Obama. Interestingly enough, in Hebrew, the letter L is Lamed, which represents royalty, and the Hebrew letter A is Aleph, which represents air, thus identifying number 44, Obama, as the prince of the power of the air. It is also important to note that the letters Aleph, Lamed together make up the name El, which means God. Remember, Alicia wore the number 7, which is actually the 6th letter Vav in Hebrew. Therefore, Lala, or number 44, the rebellious prince of the power of the air, is the Viking, 6th king, or 6th god, Aleph, Lamed. 52-year-old Anthony Gray was arrested for the stabbing and booked into San Joaquin County Jail on suspicion of murder. The number 52 is interesting as it points to the work of God being miraculously performed. This can be found in Nehemiah 6:15 through 16, which declares, "So the wall was finished in the 25th day of the month of Elul in 52 days. And it came to pass that when all our enemies heard thereof, And all the heathen that were about us saw these things. They were much cast down in their own eyes, for they perceived that this work was wrought of our God. Therefore, we know that the things that are coming during the end times are ultimately ordained to occur by the Most High, and nothing happens against His will. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That being said, the name Anthony comes from anthos, which means to flower, to grow, or to reach an optimum stage of development. The name Gray means dreary and gloomy. Authorities were alerted to the stabbing at 11:05 a.m. Strong's Concordance lists G 1105 as Gnophos, which means darkness, and gloom as in gathering storm clouds. When we put the meaning of all these names together, this is the message we come up with. The king of the serpents shall be exalted when things reach an optimum stage and fully develop, and the world will become dreary and gloomy. Even now, darkness and gloom is gathering like storm clouds. However, you shall be carried by God, and you shall be ready for battle with the horned god, the dragon. Anthony Gray was booked into the San Joaquin County Jail. The name Joaquin is the Spanish version for Joachim, and interestingly enough, in some Masonic literature, Joachim is substituted for Jachin, one of the names of the two pillars that were set up at the door of Solomon's temple. Here you see Boaz and Jachin with the all-seeing eye, portal, or doorway in the midst of them. These symbols are important in Freemasonry and lets us know that this ritual sacrifice is connected to the secret societies. It is clear then from all of the hidden symbolism found in this event that this indeed was another satanic ritual meant to glorify and exalt the devil and his Antichrist. However, we know that God is the author of all things, including the events that occur in the end times, and because of this, Yah will raise up his servants to struggle and contend against the dragon and the fallen angels that serve him. Which side are you on? Sic semper tyrannis, thus always to tyrants. If you have not given your life to the Most High by accepting the blood sacrifice of the Paschal Lamb, Yahushua HaMashiach, which was shed on the cross as a propitiation for the redemption of sins, the time to do so is now. Amen. Shalom.